Hello, welcome to my channel and craft room. I really hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please click the like button and leave a comment. Both of these things really help out my channel, plus I love to interact and chat with you all. I would also love it if you subscribe so we could craft along together in future videos too. You can find me on other social media platforms as well. Those links will be in the description box under each video. I'd love for us to connect there too. Right, let's get crafting. Hello everyone and welcome back. I am super excited today because I get to play with my new die set from Crafts. This is a shutter die and this is one of a few different dies that I received from the company. I did do an unboxing video which I will put the link to down below in case you want to check the video out and see what other goodies I have received. I would also put the link to this die down below as well, just in case you would also like to make a purchase. There is a discount code as well, which again will be down below. So if you do decide to go shopping with Crafts, you can get a little discount off your order. So this shutter die is one that I have been looking at for a little while. I absolutely love it because it reveals two different pictures. So you have whatever's on the front and then you slide it to reveal a second image that is hidden. I thought this would be great for greeting cards. It's also great for journaling. I'm actually going to make a journaling card today with it. But yeah, it's something I've been eyeing up for a long time. Now, different companies seem to do different sizes and slight variations of this die. I really loved the size of this one, which is why I had requested this particular die set. Now it cuts beautifully, as you can see. I did do, like I say, test cuts in my last video. It slides really well, everything's really smooth on it. The only thing that I had to do, and it could possibly be user error because it was the first time that I'd built it and put it together, but the slot that is cut from the die I didn't find was long enough. So if I show you, so this is where the die would have stopped. And as you can still see the starburst from obviously where the two pieces are interlocked. So I did snip a little bit just to kind of shorten those. I guess you could come down further just to really close it off, but I didn't want to come too far down because I didn't want to end up popping everything out. Also the same on the other side. So the die stopped about there. But then you've still got these sections of the picture underneath that would be showing. So I did make another slit just so that it would come over and completely hide that bottom layer. So like I said, that could have been user error. It could have been just how I had put it together. Even if it's not, and that is something that I'm going to have to keep doing, I really don't mind because it's a brilliant die. The whole mechanism works really smoothly. So the fact that I've got to make two little extra slits is not a problem for me. I'm still really happy with this die. Okay, so on with the project that I am going to do today. I'm going to be using up some scraps. So a couple of weeks ago I released two Alice kits, Monochrome Alice, which is my black and white kit, and then this one is my Grungy Alice kit. I have already done some projects using two of the kits, but I've got some bits left over, so I thought I would use that to create a journaling card today. Now this is actually cut from quite thick card. This is a card base, so it's about 300 GSM, whereas this is only 160. I was debating reinforcing it, but I'm not going to, purely because I am going to, once it's cut out on here, back this onto something, because obviously at the moment, if it was a journaling card, you kind of turn over to do your writing and you've got all this. So this will be covered. So I'm hoping that 160 GSM is sturdy enough for the shutter parts. And then obviously something sturdier will be kind of holding it steady anyway. But obviously I will do that test for you today and we will see whether it all works out. Right, so these are the two pieces that I'm using. So this is going to be one of the shutters and then I'm going to have this picture underneath. The only thing you have to consider when picking your pictures is this is the circle that you use to cut them out, and then you have this mini circle which kind of covers and reinforces how the two bits fit together. So you are going to have this circle in the middle. So that will obviously impact on whatever image you have. Now for this Love Hearts one, it doesn't matter because obviously you're not missing anything really from the middle. However, if you were to use an image, say, of somebody's face, now obviously I'm picking on the Mad Hatter, but if you were, say, doing a birthday card and you had a sweet little child's face and then you've got this slap dab in the middle, you're blocking up part of that child's face. So you need to think about the image. So this isn't going to be cut out from the image, but it will be covering it. So you just need to think about what is going to be around here. I'm actually going to be using this image down here. So the thing that's going to be covered is the little mouse. So that's not a problem for me. But this is going to be my reveal, and then this is going to be what's kind of covering it. Now, because mine is going to be a journaling card, obviously I don't want this white space. So I'm not going to use this die to cut out my images and stick them over the top. I am going to just cut straight from here, and then it just means around this bit we will have whatever's around this image. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You'll see hopefully what I mean in a moment. So this is the first die. So this is the one that is kind of the base as well and cuts the slot. Now when I did my test cut, I just slapped the die down and I wasn't really thinking about placement. But after watching a video on how it's put together, you have the square and a triangle. So the triangle is pointing up. So the slot and your tab then will be at the bottom of your card or piece. So I am going to pop this here. So the only thing I need to think of now is obviously where this is obviously supposed to be a journaling page, I've got this crease here. So looking at this now, my center is here, which means I could end up cutting off a little bit of the bunny's face. So I just need to decide, do I mind that? Does it matter? I think that's still okay. So this is where I'm going to cut mine. I am going to trim it down slightly, just because obviously I need it to fit into my die cut machine. So I am just going to trim. Obviously I will neaten this up later. So I'm just going to move that to one side. Okay, so let's have a look. Actually, if I move this up a little bit. Okay, so I might just move it up and over a little bit. So actually we are going to lose some of the little bit of the bunny, but at least we get the Mad Hatter, and obviously where this is the base you're going to actually see a little bit of Alice as well. Okay, so that's where I'm going to put it. So let's move that die out the way. I'm going to use a teensy bit of low tack tape just to hold it in place. And I've got my Sizzix Big Shot switch plus to the side, so I'm going to just quickly die cut that out. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, that has cut out really, really well. And then, like I said, I've still got a little bit of Alice. And obviously, once this is cut into a journaling card, you're still going to see that while this picture is revealed. And obviously, when it's twisted, it will cut some of the characters in this circle part out. So I'm going to put that to one side. And let's bring in this one. So this is the one that's on the tab. So again, you've got the circle and the triangle. So you just line them up. I do need to get rid of a little bit off of here. again, I'm just going to use a little bit of low tack tape and pop that through. Okay, so again, this cuts really, really well. It's all just popping out. And there you are. That's that piece. Okay, so now that we've got those two pieces, we can start assembling. So where you've got the slot at the bottom, you want to bring in that second die and just slot it under. Oops. Now this bit does get a little bit fiddly, but all you're going to do is pull it over to the right hand side. You've got to try and line up these holes as best you can. And then I know it's going to be tricky to see, but as you kind of lift this one up, you can see that there is a slot cut there. And you literally just, whoops, tuck that in. So that's why these holes need to be lined up in the middle. So again, you just keep going round. So you lift up the next one and slot it in the hole behind. Lift up the next one, slot it in the hole behind, and then just keep going round. And eventually you'll end up with what looks like a star in the middle. Okay, so do you see that star there? Okay, and that's the two locked together. Now this is what I meant about seeing a lot of star. So if this is the circle that goes on top, you can still see a lot of the star. So for me, I just felt that it needed to be a lot smaller, which is why I continued and cut a little bit further. And I think I will do that again, because as I say, I do want that circle, or the star, sorry, hidden behind the circle. So all I did last time was just get my scissors, and you can see a kind of indentation of where the die was, and I kind of just went underneath and just tried to follow that around a little bit. And I didn't cut far because obviously it's not much more that's needed. So I just made a teeny tiny little slit. I moved it round, I popped my circle back on, and then you can just keep going until you are happy. But yeah, so obviously it wasn't user error last time. Clearly that's just the way that it cuts. Okay, so I think I might just do one more little snip. Okay, so I think that's enough. They're only very slightly poking out now. Okay, and then I had the same problem going this way, so I'm just going to gently slide it. Now, it will be a bit sticky because obviously it's not actually held together yet. So just trying to keep that centerpiece lined up and just spin it the other way. And then again, with this die, it kind of stops about there, which means I've still got, it's only again a teeny tiny little bit, but I've just got that little bit. So again, I'm going to come in and snip. Now this time I did do it from the back just because I could see better from the back. You've just got to be careful obviously that you're not cutting anything that you shouldn't be. Oh, actually, I'm not sure I can do it that way. Let's try it this way. I'm going to move that out of the way. Again, it's just being careful that I'm not cutting anything that I shouldn't. A little bit more. Yeah, so I know that it's tricky to see on the camera, but there is a slight indentation. So that's what I'm following under there to kind of see where I'm cutting. Because obviously I still want it to be circular and still move. But there you are. So now, just adding that little slit, that's now a circle that's covered the picture behind. Now obviously you still see Alice in the frame that's around. That's fine. I don't mind that. And then, like I said, once it's all attached properly, this will move a little bit smoother. And that just goes round to there. Okay, so I'm going to start sticking this down then and getting it all assembled. So I have these spare from when I was doing my tester cuts and things before, so I'm just going to use these ones. Now, these are the 3 bits that you need to punch out. So as I said, the die does come with banners. You can, of course, use the banners, and I probably will do in a moment, but I'm going to have that in the middle. And then on the other side, so you need to push this so it's closed. You need to flip it over. Then your little donut needs to be glued onto the back like that. So just around that star. Okay, so that just goes on there. And again, that just reinforces it on the back. Then this one, as I said, becomes a fancy brad. So you just need to kind of fold it in either side. Whoops. And then all I did was I kind of brought the 2 ends together and then I pushed it up like that. So as you would imagine a brad would. So I just used my fingers to do that. And then you push that through and then flip it over, and then those 2 flaps you now want to spread out. So I'll lift that up so you can see that. So the brad's gone through that hole, and then the 2 flaps have come up, and then you just push them so that they are either side. And then I'm going to add a dab of glue on each of those, and then I'm going to glue this then on the top, and then that's going to push those 2 bits open, and that will hold the 2 pieces together. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it there just so it obviously grabs and takes a hold. Okay, and then as you can see, I can still turn it, and it actually turns a lot more smoothly now. Yeah, so that's now spinning much more smoothly now that that's all attached. Oop. Okay, so the next step then is to make this into a journaling card, because obviously on the back we've got this mechanism. So I am going to want something sturdy on the back. Okay, so I have got this craft card that's a card base. So I'm going to use this as my backing. What I'm going to do is, you obviously want to be able to give this space to be able to turn. So I am going to use double-sided tape to just go around the edge. So I'm going to do it in a square. Obviously stick that to this, and then I can trim all the way around so that obviously it's a more ideal shape, because it's not at the moment. Okay, so that's it as a journaling card. So obviously you've got this space now to be able to write on, and it is still reasonably flat. Obviously you've got a slight bump in the middle, but you can absolutely still journal there. So now what I need to think about is this little circle in the middle, because obviously we don't want to keep it plain. I'm also trying to think, how does it look with obviously that in the middle? So what do we want there? Okay, so I've decided I'm going to use this to cover. So I've got this teeny little scrap that I got recently in a swap. So I'm going to use the die to cut that out again, so it's a perfect circle, and I'm just going to stick that on top of there. And then I've got some words that I'm going to put along the top, and then yeah, that's the little journaling card with a little reveal all done, that I think looks really cool. Right, okay, so I've just cut that out, so I'm going to stick that down first. And then I was thinking of using those words along the top. We're all mad here. And pop that, like I say, up the top here where we've got all of that space. So pop this on first. It just covers up that white a little bit. Trying not to get glue on the shutter part. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut these out. And they're all going to be all sort of like jumbled like that because, well, it's all a bit mad and crazy. So let's just glue those bits down. Okay, so we're all mad here. Okay, so here is my finished journaling card, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I've got tons of writing space on the back. I'm debating whether I want to sew around the edges. I haven't decided yet. I might still do that. But I think it looks really, really good. It's nice and sturdy now that it's backed onto this. That's probably the only thing I might recommend if you're going to have a go at this is, yeah, 160 GSM I don't think was thick enough. I think this just slides so much more smoothly than this one. I mean, obviously this still slides really, really well. Another thing that I was thinking is that you could use this to write some messages on. So if you're using this for journaling, for example, you could have some journaling spots there. And then obviously it's hidden away behind a picture, so it becomes then a hidden journaling spot. So that's a really good idea and something I might try in the future. But yeah, 160 GSM I think is probably a little bit too light. It still works, but if, as this is going to be used in a journal, if it's in and out of a journaling pocket, I'm not sure how long this is going to last. I think this would work better as it's obviously thicker and a bit more robust and sturdy. Overall, I am super happy with this die set. As I said, it cuts really, really well. When I did all my test cuts last video, you saw it cut like butter, and that was out of a thicker card. It cuts very well for paper. I am, yeah, over the moon, and I cannot wait to be using this again. I will be testing it out. I will be doing more projects. Like I said, this is great for journals, for scrapbooks, for greetings cards. So yeah, this is definitely one that I'll be using over and over again, I think. Well, that's all from me today. As I said, links will be down below for the Craftsbuyer site. It will also be for this particular die set if you want to go and purchase this. And again, don't forget there is a discount code, so you can get some money off at the checkout too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next crafty video. I'll see you later now. Bye bye.